OOFTA Minnesota.
Disregarded entity says here we go.
Where are we going?
Bait down the ice chute pause. Sir Skankenstein says you start your new job yet.
No. Not till Monday. Yeah.
You got a dip in yet? Chew or dip?
Nope. Nothing. Nathan, not a thing. Oh, dang, man, they didn't even plug this in. Oh, hopefully there's some life left in it.
Don Merton says good evening.
Good evening. Yeah. Need me a minner. What the hell? Why does it do that? That was dumb. That was dumb. Dum da dum 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 dum. quite a bit of a mess going in here the last couple of days they did.
Rotax says evening Ron and chat.
Rotax, what's up, brother? I'd have been on a little sooner, but yeah, I fell asleep. It's not a normal streaming day for me, but I figured I'd have a streaming day just because, well, largely in part because I took a couple days off to hang out with my brother. Came up from Arkansas. And then I had my son out here yesterday. How the fish biting your way, Rotax?
Been fishing since last night.
It's been really, really slow around here.
$27-inch walleye at 3 a.m.
Very nice.
Bunch of random fish and a mud puppy.
Yeah, I think I'm going to move lakes tomorrow. I usually always end the season on this lake, but this lake has just not been producing.
Saw the mud puppy and made it bite for shits and giggles.
Ah.
Vile creature.
I'm surprised they haven't hit the endangered list yet.
FS Traveler 1 yells, "Hey man, good
Howdy.
to see you still OIT here streaming. Not sure if you remember me. I left
Oh.
for a year or so, but good to see ya."
Oh, yeah, I remember you.
Rotax says in 8 feet of water, so I am sight fishing.
I'm at 11.2.
FS Traveler 1 asks far out. Is ice fishing season over?
No, still ice fishing. That's what I'm doing right now.
This place is 100% upgraded from the last time I saw. Well done.
Thank you.
Billy says, Ron, I just threw a pic in your Discord. A buddy got a 76 inches 132-pound sturgeon today. My
Damn.
turn tomorrow, hopefully. Daddy Shark says howdy everyone.
Holy fuck. Yeah, that's badass, man.
Billy says, hey Chad.
Nice job.
Lake Winnebago, we have a 16-day season. Fucking 50s midweek will suck though lol.
Yeah, we're it's looking to be bad here. Apparently I missed a lot of stuff in my couple hour nap. Well, turn the gain down a bit.
Dash says, "Good evening, sir."
Good evening. I just sent you a text message. You on your way home yet?
I got it. Billy asks Dash, "You going to make Colorado Monday?" Dash says yes. Finally got out of there at 2 p.m. Meeting the guy at 8 to unload, reload, and haul ass for Colorado. Want me there by 8 a.m. Monday.
Turn and burn time.
Should be really close if everything goes smoothly. I'll gain an hour with the time zone.
Yeah, I'm I'm very, very disappointed in Lake Nunya. this year. I will be 100% honest with you. Very disappointed.
May be a pain right now, but the check will be nice.
Yep.
Billy asks you think overfished?
No, it's so this lake. This lake honestly is one of those piss poor managed lakes. So because of the overgrowth of weeds in here, we've got a lot of algae bloom underneath the ice, and algae bloom makes fish just go dormant. So the lack of thick ice and then the snow on top of it, allowing the sun to beat through it, and now it's just starting to kind of die off. I mean, there's still like Fish House Nate's over a fresh patch of weeds over there, but we went all over this lake today. I mean, we were everywhere on this lake today, and it was just garbage everywhere. So, I mean, I'm deterred enough to almost call it a season. Go start cleaning up the garage, get the garage ready, start moving some stuff out of the yard to get it worked on.
Dash says this weather has not been helpful either.
No. They got
Billy says, well, your 10 days certainly isn't going to make any more ice. Might not be a bad idea.
well, I go on Monday to my new job, find out what my schedule is going to be, when exactly I'm going to start running full time, and then I think this is the first time I don't know if I've ever quit fishing before the end of
Do
walleye.
you have to run and gun at all hours on call or set schedule?
I have a set schedule. No, I will have a set schedule, but there'll be plenty of opportunity for overtime. I'll be driving one of them solar powered cars for the most part, because my job requires daylight. Other than that, I mean, once things start thawing out a little bit, I got to get the RCO battleship out and start getting that prepped and ready to go. But I got that truck in the yard, get that tore down.
American says good day.
Well, good evening, sir.
Sir Skankenstein asks, ice is still thick?
Yeah, it's still about 17 inches thick. We're not pushing any water on top of the ice, so it's still decent enough to be on. Went to the doctor's on Thursday. Um, Went to the doctor's on Thursday. I have a clean bill of health. So felt pretty good about that.
What's for dinner?
I had eggs and sausage.
For only $29.99, you can do anything. For only 20.
Nothing. Looking for people to see if anybody's catching any fish.
may do.
So far, nothing.
Now. Now.
Dang, man, nothing here. We scouted this whole lake today. I mean, we went everywhere. We went off in the 3-foot shallows. We went off 35 feet. We found weeds in 35 feet of water on this lake. That tells me the chemicals that the Department of Natural Resources in this lake are fucking up the ecosystem of this lake pretty good.
How much propane do you burn a week?
Well, since it's been warm out, I'm down to about 10 pounds a day. There's nothing moving underneath me. But it's just for the first time in a long time, I actually feel defeated on a lake just because of the fact that it's like I really don't stand a good potential to catch anything over here, and that's the thing that sucks.
Your Honda run off propane too? I
No,
have a few 2200i that I converted to propane.
no, my
Chronic 902 yells you shave.
I did.
How long were you growing for?
I don't know, over a year.
Sir Skankenstein says propane conversion saves a lot of headache and don't have to store gasoline.
The problem is out here in Minnesota, when it starts hitting 40 below and you're running on propane outside there, it starts freezing up. I had a propane generator. It doesn't work very well out here. Like this time of year, it'd be fine. Like if it's this warm out, but uh, yeah, no, it's actually absolutely horrible in the wintertime. I'd have to run a propane tank blanket on it. And honestly, I find propane to be very, very inconvenient. The only reason I use it now is because it is the cheapest form of heat. The only reason I run it now is because it's just the cheapest. It cost me $85 to get one of those tanks filled. So I just switched over to a full tank today. And then got gas for the generator. Generator goes through about 2 gallons of fuel a day. I'm looking at something here. Trying to. Okay. Alrighty.
You pack any snacks to eat while waiting on a fish to bite?
I got a few. I got sunflower seeds and a bag of chips.
Best chips are sour cream and onion.
For me, it's whatever the best ones I buy at the time. I have to go out to the truck and get some ibuprofen. I haven't been staying out here at night either. My brother and son were out here last night, and then my brother was out here the night before. So,
You ever been to Woman Lake?
no. I don't even know where that's at.
Big Daddy yells dash live, just cheered 200 bits.
Thank you for the bacon biddies. Appreciate it.
Sir Skankenstein says, have you ever been to asterisk 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 all? I got family there.
I've never been to Asterisk. Oh, didn't know there was such a place.
Asterisk asterisk all.
Apparently, you have your language settings for dirty, and whatever you're trying to type in thinks it's dirty.
Sniping Barber F says must be a naughty plaker. Plays 2.
Sniping Barber, what's happening?
Sir Skankenstein says St. Paul.
Oh, yeah. Don't put the abbreviation, don't put the period in when you're doing stuff like that. Otherwise, it thinks you're trying to put in a web page.
Sniping Barber F says not MC, just about to leave work. Rotax says space after periods. Sniping Barber F says me type Gud.
Kind of want a cup of coffee, but I know if I drink a cup of coffee, I'm going to be up extremely late. But I really want a cup of coffee because a cup of coffee sounds really good right now. You know what I mean?
Sir Skankenstein says how far is St. Paul from you?
About 2.5 hours.
Dash says at Rotax 670 I was just up by you, fueled up there. Mr. Thizzle says I got coffee, Ron.
Well, I got coffee too. I just know if I make it, I'm going to be up late.
Barrican says I say go for the coffee. Only live once. Sir Skankenstein asks what's the furthest east you have been in the United States?
Atlantic Ocean. I've seen all the lower 48 through a windshield.
Someone told me it was better than Folgers and they lied. Mr. Thizzle says don't get Maxwell House. Fish House Nate says want some meatballs.
No, I'm good actually. I had eggs and sausage that were left over from this morning. I appreciate it.
Rotax says nice dash. Was a great day here. Sir Skankenstein says bet you never been to Louisiana.
I bet you I got family in Louisiana.
Fish House Nate says bullshit you want some meatballs.
Actually, I'm debating if I'm going to move right now. Because it is a completely dead sea right here, and I'm thinking about going deeper. See how supercharged I feel after this coffee. That's what I'm thinking about.
Head out to the middle. Bring it around says I like where your head's at. Sir Skankenstein says at least there are no weeds in deep waters. Fish House Nate says you have my taco salad bowl, come fill it with meatballs.
Ba-da-ding, ding, ding.
She typed that lol.
Is this your guys' bowl? Hell, I don't know. My wife had to help me keep track of it. If that's your guys' bowl, I'll go wash it tomorrow or tonight and get it out here tomorrow for y'all leave.
Sir Skankenstein says weeds should NT grow in deep waters since less light, I think.
Well, you wouldn't think so, but we were in 33 feet of water and found weeds growing.
Fish House Nate says know it when you took the chicken home.
I took the chicken home. Oh, the buffalo chicken? Yeah, I do have that one at my house.
Sir Skankenstein says how yeah that possible. Weeds need sunlight. Fish House Nate says yeah.
Yeah, that was one of them. I do have that one. It's at home.
Okay, that's fine.
Dragging ass. That's what I'm doing.
Sir Skankenstein says what's the number one homemade meal you love after a hard day fishing?
I guess I don't have one. Food doesn't really excite me a whole lot. I like eating it.
You ever eat sardines as a snack? I can't lol.
Oh yeah, used to do when I was growing up. That was kind of a big thing. Sardines, pickled herring, smoked oysters, Vienna sausages. Our shacks were pretty simple back in the day. They were basically 2 by 2 walls with plywood on the outside, and then they had styrofoam on the inside. Maybe paneling, if you found some used paneling somewhere. But then they typically just had a couple benches that you'd sit on, or you'd have a couple of metal folding chairs in there so you and some guys could sit in there and fish, and that was about the gist of them. You'd use either like a sunflower heater to heat them, or maybe had an old Empire heater, or wood heat. Wood heat was really common for us because we had access to lots of wood.
Ever eat wild rice soup?
No, never. Wild rice soup in Minnesota? Who ever heard of such a thing?
Coho Warren asks hot link sausages cooked by the heater?
No, you didn't mess around with that sunflower heater. That thing, you'd even wiggle it a little bit and they'd shut off. I mean, the new ones aren't so
The
bad.
Stankenstein says wood heat is nice, but a lot of work.
Well, back then it didn't matter. I mean, your shacks, they weren't like they are now where you're kind of an extra living space. You know, just like
Rotax
this
says
shack.
back in the day we had crude propane heaters with a vent stack. Sometime the
Yep.
flu would backdraft and potentially kill you.
Yep. You are not lying about that, sir. The wind would blow down them, blow the flame or the pilot light out, and that'd be it. Remember them kerosene cup heaters where they just had the little kerosene drip oil deal where it dripped kerosene into them? Had one of them about burn a fish house down once.
Coho Warren says yup.
Had a little kerosene tank right on the side of it. You'd fill that, and you'd have to regulate the drip on it. That determined how hot it got. Those were definitely the simpler days of fishing, but they weren't as comfortable. telling a buddy of mine, you know, when I at the lake I grew up fishing on.
In Alaska, we had one like that, then ran on diesel.
Yeah, you could run them on diesel too. It's just at that time kerosene was a hell of a lot cheaper. I think at that time we used because almost every gas station in my area had pumped kerosene, and you used to be able to get it for shoot. I think sometimes it was as cheap as 25 cents or 15 cents a gallon. Kerosene used to be really, really cheap. Diesel was a little more expensive. That I think was 50 cents or 55 cents a gallon.
Says my sister asked me to ask you if you had booyah stew.
Booyah stew. I guess I don't know what booyah stew is. I've had stew. I've had stew. I just don't know what booyah stew is. I have to look that one up. Oh yeah, we call it minestrone. It's like minestrone stew around here.
K7 Toxic Boy 7K says, hey, what's up, man?
Just hanging out. Hanging out here in the Dead Sea.
Says, is it popular?
Oh yeah.
Popular.
Very, very popular. Every stew in Minnesota's got its own version. It's like tater tot hot dish.
French fries over tater tots.
All depends. Depends on the mood. Sometimes you want French fries, sometimes you want steak fries, sometimes you want tater tots, sometimes you want tater rounds. They got so many different ways of processing taters, it ain't even funny anymore. Curly fries.
Fried okra is the worst. Rotax says TTS cooked right with the right food over mediocre fries any day. Tots.
Yeah, you couldn't use a French fry in a tater tot hot dish. It just wouldn't be right.
Big Daddy yells outdoors when he just subscribed for 11 months in a row. 'Cause these are my people. This is my land. Frankenstein says not many people here like fried okra. This is God's plan.
Take an okra, stuffing it with cheese, breading it, and then deep frying it. I like okra in my stew too. My wife don't care for it, so I got 2 cans of.
Coho Warren says I've only been to Minnesota once. I couldn't believe the clouds of mosquitoes and gnats at the airport. Worse than Alaska. Barracan says hey outdoors with OG. Sir Skankenstein says okra is soggy.
It's real good if you do it right. I like okra though. Like I got some cans up there that are okra, corn, and tomato. So when I do my fish house stew with ramen noodles.
Big Daddy yells Coho Warren.
OG, thank you for the resub, and thank you, Coho Warren. Thank you for the 100 biddies.
Sir Skankenstein says you should try a crawfish boil. Rotax says LMAO the bugs. Let's not talk about the fucking bugs.
No shit.
Big Daddy yells Daddy.
Thank you for the 100 biddies.
Rotax says reasons I love winter.
Yep. Rotax, I'm honestly surprised you haven't gotten a track and ski mod for one of your bikes. Oh, hype train close.
Big Daddy yells F0LS0 meters. Just subscribe with Twitch Prime. F0LS0 meters. Just subscribe with Twitch Prime.
This is what we prayed for. This is God's plan.
Folsom, thank you for the Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. Could have burned that anywhere, but you burned it up here. I appreciate you. I think we need one more person who hadn't donated or subscribed.
Catch me if you can.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dash Life just cheered 100 bits.
Thank you for the 100 biddies, Dash.
Coho Warren just
Catch me if you can.
Warren, thank you for the 100 biddies.
Rotax says Snowbike Kid would require a different bike.
Really? I didn't know if that was a kit that you could just take on and off. $450 dirt bike, not a dual sport.
Leased a 450 dirt bike, not a dual sport.
No, we were close. Didn't make her.
To do it right anyhow.
I mean, we made some dumbass ones out of old, junked out dirt bikes and things like that. We made some dumb kits, but they didn't last very long.
Aussie Titan says good luck fishing tonight.
Thank you, Ozzy. Dead Sea down there. Ain't been a fish to even move through. Just tell me it's over in 19 feet of water, and they didn't get nothing either. They got one little nibble over there, and that was it.
Rotax says I put a ski on my three-wheeler lol.
I did that too. I got a 185 Honda. I think it was a 185. I think it was a 185 Honda three-wheeler. Put a ski on it and put some big ass chains on the back of it. Cut spike chains. I don't even know where they came from. My grandpa came up with them, but they were from somewhere out in the mountains, anyways. Had the extra teeth on them, the extra grabbers on them. Yeah, it was cool for like one weekend. The chains worked really good. Tore the shit out of the fenders.
Rotax says, did you use the spring on the ski? Johnny Car Wash 817 says, finally a show not playing Harry Potter.
No, I did. The ski that I used was the old torsion spring ski off of a Polaris Colt. So it had the shock and then it had the spring.
Mine had a big leaf spring.
Mine had a leaf spring and a shock. It was off a Polaris Colt. And
Mine was an Olympic ski.
Yeah, and you couldn't turn it real sharp because then it would dig in sideways. Tipped it over more than once doing that. It worked really good on glare ice. We made some homemade carbides for it. Welded dual carbides to the bottom of the ski. Made them out of iron from a. Made them out of some iron from a. What do you call it?
Heavy,
Rail.
but still hard to turn.
Yeah, made it out of iron from a step railing. Just welded it right to the bottom of the ski. Spent a whole weekend putting it together, ran it one weekend, took it back off, and put the tire back on. I was pretty blessed, man. My stepdad and uncles were. I'd come up with a dumb idea, and they would entertain it. They would entertain it. Remember, we got together on a Friday night, and I had this three-wheeler. The thing ran great.
I used mine a few seasons.
No, I used mine one weekend, and I did not like it. I went back to the tire.
We called it dicking around.
Yep. Remember, I tried figuring out how to modify snowmobile track setup to fit underneath.
Cobbling crap together.
That 185's demise was me trying to rig up a snowmobile track system on the axles.
Pigpen Outdoors asks evening all. How's the bike?
Dead Sea.
Rotax says, hey pig.
Oink. I'm really disappointed, man. I was looking this time last year. We were on the. I'm 2 weeks from when I was normally on this
Pig
lake.
Pen Outdoors says sup at Rotax 670.
So I was looking last year when we were out on this lake, and it was like
Monster 651 yells, I put 4 tracks on a Ford Ranger, shits like a snow climber, super fun.
tracks are too expensive for my blood. Not to mention, I don't want to. If I get the mat tracks, I can drive them at 45 miles an hour down the road, but then it would be a dedicated ice vehicle. And you can't run them down the main drags, like back roads everywhere, and it's really just not worth it to me. It's cheaper to run a snowplow and just make a path out. The one year the snow was really, really bad on this lake, tracks wouldn't have helped me get off of here.
Yeah, can't go no faster.
If I had a lighter fish house, I'd find one of those old Willys military Jeeps, them old Willys flat fenders.
Pig Pen Outdoors says they have lockjaw on this side of the river too. Lookers but no hookers.
Hell, I ain't even got a looker. Ain't even got a looker. Got 2 last night. We jigged 2 out last night, and then nothing. I have not been able to catch more than 2, 3 fish a day out here, which is not normal. We went and scouted this whole lake today. My buddy Matt and Fish House Nate and I, we were all over this lake today.
I blame the moon phase. Lol.
This lake, I blame the mismanagement by the Department of Natural Resources by not allowing people to harvest the weeds out of this lake. They're constant chemical dumping in here. You go around here, you can tell that it's like the weeds don't even actually, like, they're just rotting on the bottom. So this lake, as soon as it thaws out, and it gets
Monster 651 says ice fishing sucked this year.
Yep, it's been pretty tough.
Rotax says bites been okay here. Monster 651 says it's every lake it seems.
Well, the first lake I was on, good. I mean, I could go back there, but I don't know.
OG says I wouldn't know what the bite has been like.
Well, something just came in mid-drift here. Could be a weed floating through. That's happened more than once. We've definitely determined that these lights don't deter the bite at all. So we got more bites by having these lights on than having them off.
Rotax says would like to see more than one walleye per night, but least I got one this trip. Thamonsta 651 says travel different areas of the state and seems like Mille Lacs is the best if deep enough.
We did pretty good up on Leech. Leech was a decent fishing night. We had a nice trip up on Leech. Just had to get away from all the big conglomerations of fish houses. Our last night up there, we did pretty good.
Rotax says Jenny didn't bother the 27 I got at 3 a.m.
No, so the one lake that I was on where they were talking about the generator does definitely make fish on that lake skittish. When you're in shallow water, because I mean, like I said, we were in 8-9 feet of water and it was crystal clear.
651 says I love that lake, so many ppl.
Yeah, the last night at IceCon, Jason, Nate, and I went.
Says, and I am in 8 feet.
Well, with me going back to work and doing the stuff I'm doing, I'm gonna rig up. So my buddy Matt's got a solar panel on his, and he runs a 12-volt house. He doesn't have half the stuff I've got. I mean, he literally has a TV in there and the lights, and then he runs his underwater camera, charges his phone. He's got a small TV, but he runs everything on a 400-watt inverter in a single deep cycle, and he's got a 7-watt panel. That's because he's gone at work all day. Seems to charge the battery enough for him to run out here at night. He's only had it die out on him one night. But I'd like to install about 600 watts of solar on this. $600 of solar and about 300 amp hours worth of lithium battery. Because literally all I need it to do when I'm not here is it'll be, I probably won't even need that much battery because I'm going to a diesel heater for a maintainer heater when I'm not here. I have a diesel heater installed in here. I'm getting the kit, but what I'm going to do is buy a 9-gallon. If I can find one of the old 6-gallon metal boat tanks, which sucks because I scrapped like 3 of them out because I couldn't get rid of them.
On the side of this shack.
Yeah. I'm going to start out with 100 watts and a single lithium battery and see how that works. I like having my power inverter because, like, when I run the pizzazz or the coffee maker or anything like that,
Never have to clean it.
Yeah. I could put a panel on either side of the fish house. Like, I have wall space from here to that window. I could probably put 400-watt panels right there. I think I'm going to go with the Harbor Freight solar panels because the more and more tests I see on them, man, they're rating out really good. The only reason I really want to put them on the roof is because then it doesn't matter where I've got the fish house at it on the lake. It's going to get solar, and I don't have to worry about what direction it's turned. The downside is because...
the other camper is getting panels on the roof.
Oh, the big one? Oh, shit. I gotta mute this, or I'll just put it over here. What's up, man? No, that's why I was calling you earlier to see if you were making it home.
I get mine on Amazon. $75 for 100-watt panels.
I figured that was going to happen to you. Hey, anytime, man. My house is always open. Even if I'm not there, you need fishing gear or whatever, it's there. You just gotta if I'm at work or whatever, or you're cruising through, you need, boats usually gonna be hooked up to a truck, so all you gotta do is throw the fishing gear in there you want and go. Well, if you want a good hike around fly fishing deal, look up Ironton, Minnesota. There's a lot of trout lakes up there. Well, there's more than just that in there. There's bass, walleye, pike, things like that. But you know, it'll be a plethora of stuff. But those are tricky ones to fish because literally, you'll walk out 6 feet from shore and you'll be in 18 feet of water because they're old mines. They're flooded out mines. But no, it'd be cool. I got lakes we can go to, man. You wanna go? You wanna go slam some pike? Well, just like last time you were up here in the summer. I want to catch a northern. All right, well, let's go get you one then. Oh, even some of these bigger largemouth out here, rack it into one of them. That'd be a hell of a fight too. I'm. You're gonna get. Fishing for one, you're inevitable to get the other. So. Nope. I appreciate the phone call, man. That's all I was worried about. Make sure you made it home safe. No problem, man. Love you. Be safe in your next trip. Bye. My brother called me, just let me know he made it home safe.
Big Daddy yelled Jim Maui one. Just subscribe for 8
Jim
months
Maui.
in a row.
These are my people. This is my land. This is what we prayed for. This is God's plan.
Rotex, didn't you get your panels on sale on Amazon? Or when they have a sale? I don't know, I've been looking at the reviews and the ratings of them Harbor Freight panels. And the Harbor Freight here in town is realizing that more and more people are playing with the solar, so and their solar array stuff at the Harbor Freight here in town has gotten a lot bigger. Apparently, I had a defective 100-watt kit.
Sniping Barber F says Jimma.
Apparently, I had an extremely defective 100-watt kit because I talked to another guy that's got one, and he said he loves his to death.
Rotax says, yeah, so I shoot for 75 cents per watt on that size.
Well, the next time, because you watch it on a regular basis, please let me know.
I was going to say, didn't you try the solar kit from HF?
I tried the 100-watt solar kit, but apparently mine must have been defective because I know 2 other guys that are running them this year in their fish house, and they work perfect.
Jim Maui says, have you done anything with the truck?
Not yet. Been too busy fishing. It's coming, though. We got really warm weather coming this week. I don't think if I make it to the end of this month ice fishing, it'll be amazing. Otherwise, I'll be out there tinkering with that. I get that running. See exactly what's going on with the transmission.
Best value is the big 360-watt panels that houses use but are unwieldy to install.
Yeah, I heard they're kind of heavy too.
OG says I need to find a wood-burning stove for my place. $400 fucking gas bill.
Sound like you should just do the system I got here. Ventless wall heater and put an 18-inch fan above it and let it blow.
Rotax says 180 watt is the one I have on the shack. OG asks in my home?
Yep. Yeah, they're ventless. They're ventless wall heaters. They're made for putting in basements and things like that. The farm I was working at, they used them everywhere out on the farm. There's a guy on YouTube that's got 3 of them. He heats his whole house with. He swears by them. I used it in my garage. That's when we first moved into this house. I had this exact same one for my garage for the first 2 years until I got a furnace. And this fish house, and mind you, the inside of this fish house is 7.5 by 20, and it's not well insulated. It's getting better, but it's not well insulated. There's no insulation in the floor other than this matting. The highest I could turn that thing up this year was 2, and that was in sub-zero weather.
Rotax says ask your electric co about off-peak brick storage heaters.
But yeah, I mean, leaving this thing run nonstop.
OG says it's gotta be the economy. This time last year, I used less gas, but my bill is almost 3 times. Rotax says I'm going to get one for next season.
I think I don't know, our heat bill hasn't taken a big jump this year, but we're on that average plan. So we pay the same thing all year through. It hasn't taken a big jump. But we're also part of a county cooperative.
4.7 cents kWh, it's not bad.
When kerosene was readily available, my parents, in order to keep gas costs down, used to run a kerosene heater. They'd run it in the hallway, in the far back of the hallway, and then just have a small fan in it down the hallway towards the rest of the house. And hell, my whole childhood was around that. Because that was when I got old enough, that was my job, fill that kerosene heater. Take it out on the deck, fill the 2 tanks, and that's what we went through a day.
OG says so was mine.
Yeah, the ventless wall heaters have got CO2 detectors in them. And we tested it out one time to see if it was if it legitimately worked that
Fish
way.
House Nate says you don't KNW what you are talking about, shithead lol.
What? Coming from a guy sitting over there in a tandem axle $50,000 fish house, he wouldn't know what roughing it is if somebody was scratching sandpaper on him.
Billy says LMAO. Fish House Nate says lol get bent lol. Sniping Barber F says ice glamping.
Oh, he's glamping for real. Oh, don't get y'all seen it at Leech Lake, man. He's glamping for real. I mean, he's got like fucking hydraulics and shit.
Fish House Nate says roughing it. Com gets a meatball.
I'm not going to get no meatball. I'm drinking coffee. My wife made a dozen eggs and a dozen sausages this morning. My son ate a bowl of it, and I ate a bowl of it this morning, and then I ate another bowl of it tonight, or 2 bowls of it before I started streaming.
I'll catch you later.
10-4. Catch a fish over there. That's what you can catch. Not no.
F off.
Mister, I got the biggest fish of the weekend. Doesn't look like the old Swedish pimple's gonna put the work in. Gonna move over there, but they ain't got nothing either. Then Matt's in the shallows over there. He got one bite, tore his minnow off. That was it.
Will0 says how OS it out there. I just got home from fishing myself and it was a zoo out there.
No. I mean, there's people out here, but nobody's catching anything out here. I'm very disappointed in this lake this year. Half tempted to take off and move to another lake. So that way I can be set up for tomorrow, because oh wait, tomorrow I gotta babysit.
Sir Skankenstein says, have you ever tried white CLWAS?
Hell no.
White claws.
Oh, I tried it. Oh, Riggedy Bob got me to try one 2 years ago at IceCon. Never again. Hell no. Mm-mm. I think I lost man points just for hanging onto the can, and I lost a lot of man points for taking a sip of that shit. That is some nasty stuff.
Must drink them. Sniping Barber F asks at Wills 0 no Wills 0 N, did you get caught fishing at the zoo? Sir Skankenstein asks White Claw is better than Budweiser?
No. I don't even like Budweiser, and I drink Budweiser over White Claw. Hands down.
I bet you never heard of Shiner Bock.
Betcha I have.
Forrest Chump says all alcohol is shit, but we don't drink it for the taste.
No. Yes, sir. Northern. Yeah. You're in Northern Territory, so I don't doubt it. He didn't feel any tension right away, that's why. Yeah, they're the reason I run 30-pound braid on my lead lines out here. I run 275-pound swivels and 250-pound clips. Yeah, no. I used to run 10-pound fire line, and then they just kept snapping them off. I'm like, this is getting expensive, so I went to 30-pound, and I've never had an issue since. You know, I'm not gonna move tonight, but I'll probably move in shallower then. No problem. I'll run over. All right, brother. Bye. Well, he just got snapped off in there. So we might move in a little shallower. He's in about 8 feet of water back there.
Sir Skankenstein asks, are you going to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow?
No, I wouldn't waste my time. Wouldn't waste my time. I don't know. I might move once he goes home.
Dash says unloaded and reloaded. Colorado, here I come.
Keep the shiny side up, brother, and the tires between the ditches.
Running Forever 215 asks, watching the Super Bowl tomorrow?
Nope. Wouldn't waste my time on it.
OG asks, what do you generally haul, Dash?
Ass. He generally hauls ass.
Lol, I was gonna say, besides ass? Dash says windmill generators.
So apparently I'm shrinking. I went to the doctor's office and I went from 6 foot tall to 5 foot 10 3/4. I don't know if that's possible or not. I mean, I've been 6 foot tall since high school, but I went to the doctor's on Thursday, and she said I was 5 foot 10 3/4.
Jolker says gravity hates everyone. Its Papa Pit says, well, when you are on ice, things tend to shrink. Just add some sun, you will be 6 feet again.
Well, see, I always knew I was anywhere between like 5'7" and 6'5", depending on which gas station I was leaving. But you know,
Dash says joints are compressing. My wife has shrunk 2.5 inches. Sir Skankenstein says, would you spend $3,000 on a Super Bowl ticket?
I wouldn't spend $1 on a Super Bowl ticket. Maybe if I could resell it for more money, but I have zero interest in going.
Forrest Chump says, so has my dick.
Oh, so is your imagination? My bad.
They say by the time you are 50, you have lost an inch. I can't afford that. It's Papa Pit says, Ron, how have you been feeling?
Good. I got a full clean bill of health on Thursday.
Sir Skankenstein says, are there weeds all through the lake or just in shallow?
Well, I mean, there's bare spots and weeds all over the place. Like you go in 7 feet of water in some spots here, and there won't be any weeds. But then we went out to a 35-foot hole out here, and there's weeds in the bottom of it.
It's Papa Pit says, nice, congrats.
I like it when I get them clean bill of health, so everybody who says, "Oh my God, you're fat. You need to lose weight. You need to do this or you need to do that." My
Sir
doctor said,
Skankenstein says, are all lakes like this near you?
"No, this is actually a pretty small lake." My doc said losing 10 to 15 pounds would help me out with my joint issue, but he wasn't overly concerned about it because everything was functioning. My blood sugars were perfect. My kidneys and liver were functioning perfect. Um, Bone marrow's functioning perfect. Everything's working good. I was gonna go on keto. I asked my doctor about keto because one of the things about keto diet is you have to make sure that all your stuff is functioning properly, so that way it digests that mass amount of protein that you're taking in, and it the meat, fat, and stuff your body's going to process it properly. And Doc says I'm good to go on it. He said I really don't need to do that. He said the things that I need to cut out, because I like bread. I eat a lot of bread. I eat a lot of potatoes. That's kind of my thing. I'm a meat and potato guy. I asked him about my White Monsters and my Coke Zero, and he's like, I don't see a problem with them. It's like I don't see a major problem with them at all, just because of the fact that. And I mean, I kept my normals. A lot of people change their routine up to go to their doctors for a physical. I didn't. I ate I had a pepperoni and sausage pizza, a Jack's pizza for breakfast.
Johnny Car Wash 817 asks Vadka.
Vodka? What the fuck is a vodka? Um, I had a White Monster before I walked into the doctor's office.
Vernick says, how about blood pressure? I get the white coat syndrome and get high false readings. Tough to pass the CDL health test. Johnny Car Wash 817 says vodka.
I've always had high blood pressure since I was a kid. I've always had high blood pressure since I was a kid. It's just the way my body functions. He's not overly concerned about it, but he said with me getting up there in age and things like that, should try and regulate it a little more. The problem that I have is the cuffs that they put on. When I was 19 years old, they were just getting into the automatic ones as opposed to the squeeze ones. Well, I had one explode on my arm. I had one blow out on my arm. And they literally watch my heart rate when they put it on, and my heart rate starts going up automatically. They still give me the jitters. So they give me anxiety, even if they put the regular pump one on there. And every time they do it, they'll do it 2 or 3 times. When I go in there, my readings keep going down and going down and going down. But he said I'm very hard. He said I'm very hard to get an accurate reading on because of that. So they tend to do a lot more blood work and labs.
Vernick says have to be under 140/90ths to pass CDL, I think.
No. Hell no. No, you don't. Hell, I think I was... I've never been that.
OG says in Minnesota, he is correct, 140/90.
Well, I've never been that. I've always been way over that, and they've never not given me my CDL. I have my health card. I've been a CDL card holder since I was 18 years old.
So says Alexa.
Yeah. I've been a CDL card holder since I was 18 outside of my hiatus in prison, my 7.5 year hiatus. I still have one. Because I know no matter what, I can always go back to driving.
Vernick says I'm over 2 at the dock, but I get good readings at home.
I think they more so worry about it if you're on all types of medication for it and you're still high. I've never been on high blood pressure medication except after my heart attack, and my doctor, once they believed it was from the COVID-19 vaccine, they took me off of everything. They took me off all my medications. And I walked in the doctor's office. He said, "Stop taking everything." He said, your heart attack and heart issues are directly related to the COVID-19 vaccine." They said, "You were perfectly healthy before that," because I was actually just in there before all that happened. I had to go in and get a physical done, and I was perfectly healthy before that. So he told me to stop taking them.
OG asks, did you hear they are trying to put the COVID vaccine in?
Good thing I don't take that either. Uh, I can't. If they do that, I can't take it. I don't take the flu shot anyways. But it's in my medical file that I'm not supposed to take any type of COVID related vaccine or medication.
Okay, off to bed. Catch y'all later.
Well, good night. Thanks for coming to hang out. Damn.
Raul Jimenez 10 says, wanna become famous?
Yes,
5 followers. Prime's viewer bits on Maestrom.
but I don't have any money.
Orzic 25 centimeters says, wanna become famous? 5 followers. Prime's viewer bits on Maestrom.
But I don't have any money. I don't have. How can I do that? I don't have any money. I mean, I'm infamous. Does that count? Does that count for something? If you're infamous? It's got to count for something. I have to walk out and go pee now. Oh. Y'all watch the lines in case they get rammy. They get rammy, start hollering. It won't make me pee any faster or get in here any faster. Better. It'll make you feel a lot better. Did you miss me? You should have. Do I want to become famous?
Barrican says being famous sucks law.
Yep. I ready to drop a big old meat chandelier down there. Put some bigger bobbers on.
Jackie says hello, Ron.
Jackie, how you been?
Good tired as F got home at 8 this morning from Alabama, just got dinner cooked after working in the shop all day.
Damn. Yeah, Dash is on his way out to Colorado right now.
Scatmanot says hello.
What's happening?
Jackie says I go to Georgia 2 times next week. Nice easy week.
Very nice. I would be happy if a fish would come in.
Scatmanot asks, is this a caravan?
Exclamation point FH.
Jackie says, had some big things I had to get done today. Gonna work in the shop, probably 5 or 6 Horus tomorrow, then I am off Monday.
Well, I'm going back to work Monday. It won't be a full day for me, but I'll find out when I go
Scatmanot
in.
says, oh, a fisher. Jackie asks, how is the work going for you?
Well, I find out on Monday. I didn't go in for the original job I was going to go in because I got offered a different job. So now I get to start the process all over. So my official, I've been interviewed over the phone already, did the online application, but my official interview is Monday. But basically, by the sounds of it, I'm already hired. I'm already hired. I just have to go in and do the formality shit now.
Different place?
Yep.
If so, what kind of work now?
Well, let's just say I'll be driving. Won't be a big rig, but I'll be driving.
Barracan says porn star. Lol.
Oh, yeah. They make good money, don't they? How much does the average porn star make in a year? Damn.
Jackie says you gonna drive the bang bus. I am jealous. Lol.
51,000 a year. That's it? God.
Barracan says I bet a luchadores get pays more. Jackie asks, will this job allow more time for stream?
I don't know if I'm going to put that much more time into streaming, Jackie. I'll be honest with you, because it's like,
Unknown Santi says hi epic.
so I figured out the average hours per week for the last year that I've done streaming, and I averaged 61.4 hours a week streaming. And, you know, that's minimum of 240 hours a month. I mean, the first few months I started out streaming, I had a basic 8-hour schedule that I did every day, broke up in 2 segments, and then once we got out on the road, I started doing a lot more. I did a minimum of 300 hours a month, and it was I love doing it, but when I don't make enough to pay the bills, I can't keep doing it. Um, I have to look at what it is, and I mean, made a hell of a run. I mean, I've watched a lot of people over the years make a run at full time streaming, and don't make it as long as we did, and don't go on half the adventures, don't go on any adventures, and we did a lot. But I also lost my way in it. I forgot why I started streaming. I didn't start streaming to make content. I started streaming to talk to people. Sitting in my fish house and talking to people. That's just what I did. I sat in my fish house and talked to people. My streams were never about how many fish I could catch or what contests I could win or anything like that. And I lost my way in that. And it really, really sucked. And, because I was too busy chasing the content and not why I started streaming is I spent everything I made and then some. So I don't know. I mean, there might be special occasions, like if I'm out river fishing or something, I'll probably have longer streams. But um, the all day stuff will definitely be done. Uh, Trying to do a 15 to 20 hour stream by myself is it's almost impossible for me to do it on an everyday basis. You know.
Jackie says, well, if you don't stream much, don't be a stranger.
Oh, I'll stream daily. I mean, I'm gonna try and for sure do Monday through Friday. I'm not giving up. I'm not done streaming. I've got to make it manageable to where I can do that and work full time. I've got to keep it manageable is what I've got to do. That's going to be the big thing, is keeping it manageable. And if I get on here and I talk to everybody for a couple hours a day, I mean, think about it. How many of y'all got people you could sit and talk to for 3 hours a day?
Work stream balance.
Yep. And I mean, that just means I get to go back to taking the money from streaming. And
88,600 says get sturdy for 1,000 pounds.
And it just goes back to, you know, the stream is just a bonus for me. It doesn't. It's a nice thing to have. It's a bonus for me, and you know, I'll probably use it just to upgrade stuff, upgrade things for the van, upgrade things for the fish house. That's gonna be the main gist of it. That's what I did with it before, was always upgrading stuff. Now that I don't have to worry about to pay bills or survive. Hell, Sir
Jackie
Skankenstein.
says, well, you know me, I stop by when I can.
I know. Hey, I'm happy to see you every time you come in here. You're good people, man. And that's why I started streaming, so I could talk to good people. That is why I started streaming it. And when I started streaming, I was literally sitting in a studio doing a morning show. I just like fishing, so, and that became about being a fisherman and doing things like that. And it's like, there'll probably be another name change in my future because I won't be outdoors all the time. I just changed my stream name to Ron. You know, I always wanted an outdoors channel, but I realized the fact that I'm not always outdoors. I'm not always able to be outdoors like now.
Jaded and Faded says you get what you put in a HD. It takes years to build, only few make it overnight. Jackie says that's why I come in here, cause it's honestly nice and relaxing to just have a chill conversation.
Amen to that. Yeah, and I mean, this wasn't something I did overnight. I'd been streaming for 3 years before I went full time. I've been doing media for 8 years. This wasn't an overnight decision. You know, it's something I'd been working towards. I mean, I would have never made it if I was starting from scratch. But I had all the equipment, I had the resources to start.
Says what y'all catch up there. From Texas, so all we catch is bass, gar, and catfish.
We catch fish, wet ones mainly, wet fish. And on this stream, I don't even do that. I catch a hard time. No, and it's been, I mean, the last year has been awesome. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, for every struggle I could think of 15 great moments. I mean, the money we raised for breast cancer, the money we raised for Jamie, you know, the stuff that we got to be a part of, the things that I got to learn, you know, the experiences I had, I wouldn't trade that for anything because if I wasn't streaming full time, I would have probably never experienced that ever. You know, so I don't have any regrets about it, you know. I also understand that the economy has gotten worse, things have gotten more expensive, and you know, I mean, streaming is taking a big hit. Twitch
We use
is,
arrows for gar sometimes. Is that okay?
yep, they do up here too. You can bow fish any rough fish up here, but you know, I realize that the economy's gotten really tough for a lot of
Boss
people.
Lady says hi everyone.
Hey, you, where you been? I've been here for 2.5 hours. Where you been? Where you been? Where have you been? I was beginning to think you deserted me. Like it's nighttime and you're my nighttime roadie. Where were you? You, boss lady, you got some splaining to do, boss lady. I put on a special stream on a Saturday night, and my roadie was gone.
With my family. Our son's family was here today.
Oh, well, I get that. That's why I ain't streamed the last couple of days. Had my brother in from Arkansas. My son came up last night, hung out.
Big Daddy yelled
Welcome to my house.
Hey, hey.
'Cause these are my people. This is my land.
Thank you.
This is what we pray for. And this is God's plan. Catch me
Endotoxin, thank you for the subscription and thank you for the 100 biddies. Appreciate that. I think this lake is mad at me because I didn't spend any time on it this summer at all. I didn't spend any time on this lake this past summer. I think it's mad at me. It's rebelling. I mean, this lake is legendary on. I mean, if they actually had a record for the most largemouth bass caught in a single stream, this lake would have it. We'll see what my work schedule is like. If it's like a 9 to 5 deal or something like that, maybe I'll start getting up earlier and doing a morning show again.
Endotoxin says 14-pound largemouth next on the hook.
If I caught a 14-pound largemouth live on stream, man, it would, whoo-wee. That would be a state record. I wish. You know, and that was something I was going to do too over the summers. I was actually going to start chasing around. There's a lake around here that I believe has a state record largemouth in it, but you've got to work this lake day in, day out, and you've got to work it consistently. Because I've seen the pictures of this fish and it was never turned in, and I guarantee you it's every bit of 10 pounds. Every bit of 10 pounds. And it's just a tough, tough lake to work because it's a big, giant, flat lake. And I always said I was going to go after it, and I never really dedicated any time to it. I always made excuses. Who knows? Maybe that's what I'll spend my weekends doing over the summer. I mean, I do plan on doing some trips. I still plan on doing some camping trips, some weekend camping trips, things like that. You know, but it's we're not going to be gone every weekend. I'm not going to take a couple of weekday trips, go meet up with OG. All right, just throw a minnow down there. The old Swedish pimple just ain't working. Throw the ant down there and just keep blowing the piss out of it every 20 minutes. See if they'll chew on a live minnow. Biggest thing is going to be just getting. I mean, there is some advantages to doing what I have to do this year. You know, the van will be a weekend camper again, which will be nice. I won't have to pack so much crap in it to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. I'll be able to put the passenger seat back in it. I'll be able to keep it simple again, and it's not a bad thing. Come on, fishes. Just one pig. Just one pig. Just one. Can I get one? Can I get one? Let me get one of them big old 38-inch northerns out of here.
I just got my master plumber license. Pretty damn excited.
Hell yeah, I would be too. Nice job. I will say this. My new job, I have to learn computers better. It's going to force me to do that. I will have a company laptop that I have to take around with me. I will have a company cell phone and a company car. So I can't tell you all that much about my new job. I told them that I don't have much in the way of computering skills. And they said, nope, that's fine. We'll teach you. One of the programs that I have to learn, I'll have to learn quite a bit about, is Excel.
Nice.
Excel seems to be the staple for businesses nowadays, so I will have to learn the Excel program pretty well. Um, I'm going to work with a bunch of really cool electronical stuff. Like the maintenance job, I was like, all right, there's a 5-year plan and I'll move my way up. But this is the kind of job I could see myself doing for a very long time. Um, it's not only is pay performance based after your first year. Um, I'm not so. I mean, you have the ability to move up, but I'm not really worried about that because where I'm getting into this company at is kind of a spot I really like to be. Um, but I get to get side and learn a lot of new age technology, which is something I am very much so lacking. I know you guys see the stream and everything that I got going on here, but that is 100% because of the help of other people, like guys like Barrican who set up all the stuff for my stream and the server and things like that. And they've got it to literally where I just got to push in some buttons and
I
enter the
just
stream
deal with
title.
blueprints and excavators.
Nice. So this is going to force my hand to get better acclimated to technology, which is something I need to do because that is just where the world is going to. Old dinosaurs like me who don't touch computers and things like that, we're getting phased out. The job that I turned down to go to this one, they're going automated. And when they go automated, it's more about computers and stuff like that than it is people. And it's really because people just don't want to go to work. And I can understand it from the people side because a lot of people are like, why the hell would we go to work when we can't make enough money to live anyways? You know? And I get that. I get that 100%. But the other thing that helps me out a lot and what's helped me out this past year is the fact that my
You'll
wife,
pick it up, especially if you deal with it every day.
and that's the biggest thing, is they're letting me learn hands on.
The real Giovanni says computer.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to learn them real quick because I get a company laptop and I have to, I've got a big grace period because I told them I'm computer stupid. So I've got, uh, I've got a big
Dash
grace
says
period.
done for the night. Have a great one, everybody.
All right, brother. I'll call you tomorrow.
The real Giovanni says you learn to stream.
Yeah, I did do that. And now I'm going to be, one of the first programs I have to learn is Excel. It's one of the first things they're going to teach me is Excel. So it's going to be cool. I mean, I'm nervous, but I'm excited. It's going to be some really, really.
What's the job?
I can't dox it. It's sensitive shit, so I can't dox it. But it's cool. Like literally, I get a company car, company credit card, company computer, company cell phone. I get all this shit walking in the door, and that's cool. I said, "What?" The only thing I asked is, "What do you want with an old dinosaur?"
Endotoxin says there's tons of Excel tutorials on YouTube.
Well, the thing that they liked is I'm willing to learn it to do it their way. They're like, "Do you have any?"
The real Giovanni says yeah, Excel has tons of learning on it.
Um, one of the things that got me this job is because I'm willing to learn to do it their way. I told them flat out when I did my over the phone interview.
Endotoxin says right on.
One of the guy that I talked to, the guy that's going, my guy through the hiring process, when I talked to him, he said that
Boss lady says just hearing that much sounds awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited about this job. I kind of wish I was already working because it's just really, really cool. I want to do it. Where the other job, I wasn't really excited about it. It was just the potential in a 5-year plan, where this job, yeah, I can move up in the company and I may do that, but
Jonah says Ronnie is the one.
I can move up in the company and I may want to, someday, but even if I retire doing what I'm doing, which I doubt I retire from a job like this, I pretty much have to be physically not work, because I don't ever see myself retiring. I don't come from a, you know, I don't see myself retiring, because I don't know what the hell I would do. But I'm really, really super excited about it, because it's I like technology. I'm not against technology. I like technology. It just intimidates the fuck out of me. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this brings. When I told them that I would learn Excel their way, that made them very, very happy, because I wasn't that he said that just shows you're willing to learn. I said, I'm always willing to learn new things. I said, you just have to be patient with me. He said, well, and he asked me flat out, do you learn better hands on, or do you learn better in a classroom? I said, hands on 100%. I learn way better when I'm actually out in the field and having to use this stuff, and having somebody showed me a couple of times and then forced me to do it. I work way better under pressure like that. Yeah, I can go in, I can do maintenance, I can do mechanical jobs. It's not a problem. I can turn a wrench. I'm very good at troubleshooting things. It's what made me a very good mechanic, is because I'm very good at troubleshooting things. But even in the mechanics industry, guys like me, we're going out of style, because now it's not just put your ear to the motor and listen to the way it's running. Now it's plug a computer and the computer tells you what's wrong with it. And that's just the way the world's going now.
The real Giovanni says our 2023 Wrangler has a recall and it requires a certified Chrysler tech.
Yep. So did
There's
our.
only one in the state. Be here till end of March, Lolo.
Did you call St. Cloud? We were dealing with the same stuff with the wife's Escape. It had 2 recalls on it, and we couldn't get nothing done at Wilmer. Nothing done around here. I called St. Cloud. They made an appointment. It was there overnight. We had it back the next day. They seem to do things better over there. And it literally fixed all the issues her car was having.
It's a minor deal, so I just slapped my name on the list. It's stupid because apparently it's some special computer.
Yep.
IDK.
Yeah, Chrysler has their own program. Well, all of the manufacturers have their own program. And because it's a recall, there's a special program they have to put in for it. So I would tell you to call St. Cloud. You probably get an appointment sooner. It'll be done quick. And they probably tell you to just bring it up there and they'll do it right away. We spent over a month dicking with these people here in town. And they're absolutely, I will not do any business with them.
Good to know.
I mean, when you tell me I got to drop my car off, you have a fast lane oil change.
They're not good.
When you have a fast lane oil change station and you tell me that I have to leave my car there and possibly overnight for a fucking oil change, no, I'm good. Absolutely not. Nope. You go to
Fast lane oil change is 3 weeks out ha.
and you can go into St. Cloud, you can pull in, they'll bring you in right away. Change your oil, you're in and out. In and out with a full vehicle inspection. That's why my courier service, when I was buying cars off the lot, I was going to St. Cloud. I quit buying them around here. It was faster for me to go to St. Cloud and get stuff done, especially in my line of work. It was fast for me to go to St. Cloud and get stuff done. Way faster.
Endotoxin says I always change my own oil after a tech stripped my drain plug.
I change my own oil also, but it's nice to get an extra set of eyes. Like,
The
I
real
have...
Giovanni says rumor has it the local dealer we all know only has one master tech on payroll and he is barely part-time.
Yep, and that's because when I went there, and like every other mechanic, good mechanic in this town, their interview process sucks. Their interview process is absolutely worthless. That's why nobody wants to work there. Their pay scale sucks. Trying to get anything done there as a tech sucks. I know 3 guys that left there. So my first interview, I went there because I was told they needed at least a beeline tech, and I could get in as a beeline until I got my blue oval certification renewed. So I went in as a beeline tech, and there was 3 people that worked there at the time that referred me to the job because they needed help. So, anyways, I go in there, I do the interview process. All right, I'm used to a 2 interview process. I get it. You go through the initial interview. If they think you're good, then they want you to sit down with a supervisor or, somebody else. And they asked me how long it had been since I'd been in the actual dealership motor field. And I said 20 years, but I said mechanics are, I said turning wrenches is turning wrenches if you know what you're doing. I said I worked for a couple other shops in the area and still worked on newer cars. I mean, I'm not oblivious to it. I mean, at the time when they interviewed me, I had the all data computer system. I had the same system they ran there for their dealership stuff. All I wanted to do was plug mine into their system and get the updates. And the one question in my second interview, they asked me the question. They said, what is the thing you hate most about cars? I said, the fact that they have to run on computers now. I said, engineers take no time or consideration for the serviceability of them. The American people are getting robbed because of how shitty they're putting these cars together. And the guy just said, well, I don't think you're going to work out here. And I said, what? Because I'm honest? I said, I still work on cars. I got a $50,000 toolbox in my garage loaded full of tools. I still work on cars. I may not agree with what's happening. I said, yes, you agree with every politician that's ever stood in office around here. And he didn't answer me, so I left. Well, then somebody from Brainerd called me and said, oh, well, we'd like to offer you a job. I said, I was told my interview was over. I said, your guy isn't going to want me there. I don't want to be there. So they called me in for a 4th interview and then confirmed that I didn't have the job. 4 interviews I went through there. And every other master tech that I know that has actually been to school recently for it, every time they go in there, it's a 4 interview process. And it's a whole bunch of bullshit. And they only handle one. It was 1 recall a day, sometimes only 1 recall a week.
Endotoxin says that's messed up.
Oh, man. If you got a guy standing there that's like, I used to be an AC certified master tech. I
The
was blue
real
over.
Giovanni says dumb when you can go to any other shop in town, get hired same day, and get paid more with better benefits.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, let me put it to you this way. When we went to go get the recall done on the wife's car, I called them as soon as we got the notice. So I called them. I'm like, all right, let's give them a chance. They're local, they're close. We'll get it done. So I called them. They said, well, we'll call you when the parts come in. We order the parts first, and then we'll call you and make an appointment. All right, no big deal. A month later, still haven't heard from them. Now, this is an issue that they had with a thermostat housing that was causing some of these cars to overheat and even crack a head gasket. So it's a little concerning because I've been had to send her out with my handheld scan tool because it would go into limp mode as soon as she started the car. So I had to show her how to run the scan tool to get out of limp mode. So they put out the recall to get that fixed. Not a big deal. So a month later, I call them again. Hey, just checking to see where my parts are at. You know, you guys said you were going to call me and set up an appointment. I got this recall notice. I said they just sent me a second one. And they're like, oh, well, we don't have any record. They sent me over to parts. What the hell does parts got to do with any of that? So I talked to the guy in parts, and he's like, well, we got the one part here all the time. And he says, I don't know why they told you. I said, I don't know. And so they went to transfer me to service. So then I have to go, they transfer me to some place in Brainerd that apparently handles all the recalls now because you can't talk to anybody at the dealership. So they send me all the way to talk to somebody in Brainerd. So I talked to the person in Brainerd. Well, we're going to send you this. We're going to have you talk to the people in service so you can get to the end of this. Okay. Well, then they transfer me to their Toyota dealer. I say, okay, well, apparently they want you to service my car. They're like, well, no, we don't service those here. Those are across the road. Well, so then they send me back and they send me to the main desk at the Ford dealer, which in turn sends me back to Brainerd. After I told them I needed the service desk at your location. No, they send me to Brainerd. I finally hung up. I called 1040 Ford, and their name out there. 1040 Ford in St. Cloud is by far the best Ford dealership in all of the best one I've ever dealt with in the state of Minnesota. I have bought 3 trucks from them. I think they're absolutely phenomenal. I refer my friends to go to them because they are great customer service. They're some of the best people to deal with.
10 board is good.
They are the best. They are the absolute best people to deal with. Not only are they the oldest Ford dealer in, I believe, the country. I believe they're the oldest running Ford dealership in the country. They hold customer service to the highest standard. When I had gotten in an accident with one of my courier vehicles and I needed another vehicle. They literally held the dealership open for me so I could come in and buy a truck. They have been 100% amazing every time I've had to go there.
Yes, they are. They are basically the same age as Ford Law.
Yeah, they've been absolutely phenomenal. I must be getting warmer outside because all of a sudden it got really fucking hot in this fish house. And truth be told, I mean, that's a dealership I can stand behind. I'll pay extra money. They could be higher priced. I never checked around because once I started dealing with their customer service, I'll pay more money for good customer service. I don't care. But they were always cheaper than everybody around here. That's what brought me out there in the first place. A buddy of mine who used to buy a new truck, or still does, he buys a new truck every 2 years. He brought me out there for the first time I'd ever went there. He brought me out there to help him go pick up one of his brand new trucks. And when we went out there, they just treated him like gold, man. Like absolute gold. And I was like, is it just this because of you, or because he's like, no, it's been this way since the first time I ever bought a truck here. That's why I keep buying them here.
What do
And
you think of CarMax?
a joke. My in-laws bought a car from him, and they've had to fight with him tooth and nail about getting shit done. Carvana, love Carvana. That's where we got the wife's car from. We were gonna go to 1040 and buy an Escape, and some friends of ours, her best friend and her husband, both bought cars off Carvana, and they told us you really need to check it out. We got a 2014. We were looking at you know, a used Escape, something just a year or two old, because that's what the wife wanted, was an Escape. So we were looking at that time, it was 20s and 21s, because it was 2022. So we were looking at 20s and 21s, and here comes this 2014 with 14,000 original miles on it in Georgia. Not a spot of rust on it. Garage kept its whole life. Literally nice. They deliver. You see the Carvana TV commercials? They come on that exact same truck. They come on a Carvana truck, on a Carvana rollback. They did all the trade-in stuff right over the internet. The only thing we had to do was sign a few papers when they got there. They gave her 30 days to drive the car and decide if she liked it. She decided she was going to keep the car. Well, then we had a couple of issues with the car right away when we got it. Brought it to my local mechanic at Iams Garage, because they said, well, you got a Ford dealer. And I said, absolutely not. I will not bring a car there. They're horrible.
Endotoxin says I got a 95 diesel Ford 7.3 with over 1 million miles.
Good truck. I just bought one. But they delivered it. She drove it for 30 days, decided she was going to keep it, brought it to Iams. They didn't bicker with him about his rates. They didn't bicker with him nothing. They gave him a credit card number over the phone. And my buddy Jason's sister-in-law, she bought a car from them, brought the car to her mechanic, got it checked out, absolutely loved the car, but the car needed $5,000 worth of work. They called Carvana and said, hey, we got a ticket from our mechanic that says this car needs $5,000 worth of work. And they said, get it fixed. We'll pay for it. The dealer that sold the car, so Carvana has a sheet that has to be gone through if you're going to sell a car through them. This thing has to be roadworthy, pristine, because Carvana warranties it themselves. So this car had to be pristine. They bring it to their mechanic, and the dealer's trying to fight Carvana to get the car back, and they're like, no, you had a disclaimer. They paid the $5,000 to get this car fixed, and they're still driving it. That was 4 years ago, and they absolutely love the car. Carvana I'll tell you, if I ever decide to want another car payment again, which I doubt, because I have 3 out-of-state vehicles that are completely rust-free, and they run very, very well. I don't foresee myself getting into another car payment for a long time. I don't think new cars are worth the money anymore. When you're telling me it's 60 to 80 grand to go buy a brand new truck to do what my old trucks are doing, yeah, they may have a few more bells and whistles, but I don't think it's worth it. And my old van gets more oohs and ahs because of how clean it is than what I'd get out of a new pickup truck. It's one thing everybody says about my van. They can't believe how clean it is.
The real Giovanni says I like my 06.
Well, I got my mom's Expedition, and I got my van, and then I got another bullnose truck that's pretty well spotless. I'm going to start putting that together. I got 3 bullnose trucks. I'm going to take 3 of them and make one. I'm going to make a 3/4 ton extended cab long box.
I agree with that. I like the old dusty, trusty trucks.
When I had my courier service, I lived by a saying, either you're going to pay the bank or pay the mechanic. And I always lived by pay the bank for the longest time, because then I didn't have to worry about being broke down and waiting for the mechanic. My last couple of years in it, I started making sure I had a backup vehicle, and I would pay the mechanic, because new car prices had just gotten ridiculous. I wore out a car in 3 years. My average lifespan for a courier vehicle was 3 years from brand new. Because by the time I was done with it, it had 330 miles, between 200 and 300,000 miles on it. The interiors were tore up from sliding stuff in and out of them. They just weren't worth anything. Unless I was going to trade them in every 6 months and take a couple $1,000 loss. And I tried that at first, and it wasn't working for me. So, and I was even, I was buying minivans from the dealerships to put my drivers in and things like that. I mean, I sat there and I looked at it and I'm like, no. Once car prices started going up and through the roof, I started looking at what it cost me to pay those cars every month. When you're paying a $500 car note every month, with my business plan, I couldn't pay anything over $350 a month is all I was paying for 3 years with a decent down payment or with my trade-in. That was about my max. When they started coming at me for a pickup truck for $1,200 a month, I was like, oh no. Negative Ghost Rider. We ain't doing that. So I bought a used truck off of 1040 Ford's lot, and that's when I started buying used vehicles. Buying regular, looking at my buddies, finding stuff on the internet. My buddies were getting rid of something that I thought would work. What do you want for it? Buy them cash. And it worked out. It was a hell of a lot cheaper than buying the newer stuff. I'd love to have a mid-sized truck like a Ford Ranger or Toyota Tacoma. I'd love to have one of those trucks because I think they're great trucks, but not for the price tag on them, I don't. I think they're ridiculously expensive. And some people, that's just
The real Giovanni says really digging the Tacomas lately. They hold value too well though, lol.
My brother just came up here in a brand new 2022 Tacoma that he got from the car rental place. And I mean, it's a rental car. It needed a front end alignment. But other than that, this thing I liked it. It was a nice truck. Crew cab, just a nice little truck. Like if you were going to build a weekend overlander, this truck is the bees. This is the one to have. And I mean, it's factory on, I think was it 34-inch tires and
Antitoxin says my buddy showed me his brand new Chevy and I asked what he was paying a month. He said $1,100. I called him stupid.
I've never paid $1,100 a month for a mortgage payment on a house. $1,000 a month is the most I have ever paid on a mortgage payment. I could not see paying more than that for a car. I could see $500-600 a month right now, maybe $7 if it's fully loaded, brand new, custom ordered. My custom ordered dually in 2002 didn't cost me that much a month. Well, and that was a full-blown custom order from Ford. So I'll just stick with my old stuff. Yeah, I may spend more in gas,
The
but
real Giovanni says hashtag paid off.
amen to that. I got 19 vehicles right now, and they're all bought and paid for. All of them. And I still don't have into those 19 vehicles half of what it would cost me for a brand new truck. I mean, one of them needs a motor, but I can literally go to the junkyard, spend $350 and throw a motor in it. I've got one, the dump truck needs some transmission work, which isn't a big deal. I mean,
My favorite right now is the 2001 Expedition. Rusted out and half of it has hail damage, but the thing doesn't die.
I'm driving a 99 right now, Eddie Bauer edition. Came out of Arizona. Put it together for my mom. Sat behind my sister's house for almost 2 years. And then her junkie friends, somebody was tearing parts out of it. It's cost me almost $2,000 to put it back on the road. I mean, it's more than it's worth, but it was my mom's truck, so I'm going to do what it takes to keep it on the road for as long as I can. But that's what I drag the fish house around with. And it's just loyal. Got her stuck once, though, this year. The air suspension's all been deleted out of it, which is good because that's a common, huge problem with these Eddie Bauer editions. So it's got standard Expedition equipment in it, which is good. I'm going to put the ground switch in it to get rid of the anytime four-wheel drive. Basically, it's got a thing in the ECM that if all of a sudden it starts slipping, it locks it into four-wheel drive, and that's how they end up tearing the transfer cases out, because we had to put one in this one. Yeah, I don't know.
P's Wrangler is pretty fun. She got the plug-in hybrid one. 600 feet lb of torque when both engines kick on. 4Z.
I wouldn't want to see the price tag on that thing. Hell no. I like them Wranglers. If I was going to buy a hybrid, I'd probably do like Dash did and go get a Maverick. Like if I was driving some distance to work or something, I'd go get a Maverick. You can get one of them completely decked out for like $22,000.
It was dumb, and she bought the Peak. I told her to never play the stock market with her buying habits.
Yeah, well. Can't fight with them though. They get what they want. I mean, we bought the wife's car. We had to buy her one because her truck, the frame had broke in it. She brought it to a lube shop and they didn't look at the frame, and then when they lifted it, they bent it.
She makes her own money, shrug.
Yep. I ain't mad at my wife. She loves her little car. Got it with 14,000 miles, and she's one of them people that will drive it until it completely falls apart. Me, I change cars like I change underwear. Now I got three of them that I'm for sure stuck with. Well, two of them that I won't get rid of.
Today she actually got to shadow Kevin Pendleton, if you remember him.
Oh, yeah. Still talk to him. Which reminds me, I need to reach out to him again. He's going to do some stuff for me.
He won 16 awards at the Minneapolis show.
Yeah, he's gonna do some cover up, some cover stuff for me.
I am off to bed though. Good night.
10-4. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I think I'm about to call it a night. Damn near 10 o'clock. Let's see here. I need to see who's on, but first I got to do this. Who do I want to raid tonight? Let me see. Been on this kick of raiding people I haven't raided in a long time. Who's on? What? Oh, we're going to raid that butthead. Going to go raid OTR Penguin. That is going to happen.